Hey friends, welcome back to Black Queer Unapologetic. I'm JoJo, and today it's just me, no guests, no interviews, just me being real with y'all about something that's been heavy on my chest, and that is imposter syndrome and burnout and the myth of the strong Black man. Doesn't even necessarily need to be a Black man, but I think guys tend to have this toxic masculinity trope that we end up having to fall into at some point in our lives. And I definitely want this episode to hit on that, but also not just calling out what's broken. It also needs to talk about where I'm heading and maybe where other people might want to head as well, and learning how to be soft and how to let go of survival mode and finally live in a way that lets us breathe and feel and allow ourselves to be held. So, yeah, let's get into it.
Ay, black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. I know who I am, now you know what I'm about. I say the thoughts in my head out loud. Let's get into it, let's pick up the flow though. Brought to you by the one they call JoJo. Black, queer, unapologetic. Black, queer, unapologetic. Let's go.
Okay, so imposter syndrome is one of those things for people who don't know what it is. It's one of those things that is loud in your head when you already feel like the only one. When I say the only one, you could be the only Black person, you could be the only gay person, the only one who didn't graduate from a fancy school. Like, for example, I didn't graduate from college. You could be the only one who grew up not seeing anybody who looked like you in a position of power, whether that's, based on gender, based on sexual orientation, based on color of your skin. The list goes on. And when you finally make it to a certain level of achievement or a certain level of status based on somebody else's definition, or it could be your own, instead of feeling proud of what you've accomplished and achieved, there's this voice in your head and you feel like you're just waiting to be exposed. Like you don't deserve what you got. Like someone's going to come in and realize that you just don't belong, or like you snuck in through the side door and just put on a mask and you're pretending or cosplaying as this particular person or this particular role or whatever it is. What do? Like literally, like what would you do? And for me, that answer has been hustle. I've always been a hustler since I was a teenager. And you hustle and you over deliver and you put on the perfect face. You try to silence your discomfort and call it being professional. And you carry that mask everywhere, from Zoom calls to brunch tables to team outings to your own damn mirror in your own fucking house. And it sucks because sometimes it's like, when do I take it off? And the crazy thing is, it's not just about doubting your skills. It's about really doubting your right to exist in spaces that weren't built for you in your softness. Imposter syndrome is literally, at least to me, the gateway drug to burnout. You can call it that. You start pushing yourself because you feel like you have something to prove, but it never stops. Because once you get through one door, there's another one waiting, and another one, and another one, and another one. And then you start ignoring your needs, ignoring the tensions in your body or the random tearing up or crying spells or the mood swings. The fact that you're always on all the time and you start living for the validation, but starving for real connection and real collaboration. And then there's hyper independence because you don't get the collaboration. So what are you going to do? Fuck it, I'll just do it myself. That feeling that you can't rely on anyone but yourself. So you stack your resume, you chase promotions, you start a side hustle, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. I cannot tell y'all how many jobs I've had. There was this joke with this one guy that was an executive at a company I used to work for, and he was like, "You've had literally every job." I'm like, "Yeah, I have." From a barista to like senior level administrative stuff to being in the military to I've done so much stuff, it's ridiculous. But my point is, you get to a point where you think, if I just make more money, if I get the senior title, if I go work for X company, they'll respect me. If I'm successful enough, maybe I'll finally feel worthy. But sometimes it never feels like enough. You hit one goal and you immediately move the bar. You don't pause to celebrate. You don't let yourself enjoy the wins because somewhere deep down, you're still trying to prove something to somebody or to yourself. It could be to your parents or to your coworkers or really just to the world. Or maybe it's your past self. Maybe, you're trying to make the little child inside of you proud. And that's why you're pushing yourself so hard. But for me, I feel like that's the trap. The idea that our happiness is waiting on a certain salary or a title or a certain amount of likes or a follower count or a relationship. But happiness doesn't live in achievement. So how does any of that make sense? Happiness is one of those things that you have to attain through alignment rather than achievement. And we have to choose to be happy for ourselves, not because we finally reached some external benchmark that either somebody set for us or one that we set for ourselves when we keep moving the goalpost. I remember thinking, if I just rest for a bit, I'll be fine. But rest didn't fix it because rest without safety and emotional clarity isn't really rest. Burnout for me was emotional numbness. It was sitting in meetings and zoning out. It was waking up tired and going to bed and not being able to sleep. Just wired all night. And it was canceling plans, not because I didn't want to go, but because I didn't have the energy to show up and like pretend that I was able to engage in whatever activity was going on. It wasn't just about work. It was more, I was tired of pretending and tired of smiling when I wanted to scream and yell or cry, and tired of being the strong one when I needed understanding. I needed conversation. I needed collaboration. I needed to be humanized, and I wasn't getting that. there's this idea in the Black community, especially among men, that we got to be unshakable, that we got to be able to endure and provide and protect and lead and do all of these things without complaining. And I'm not saying it's just men, because I feel like Black people kind of get that trope anyways. So I think Black women also get that very similar baggage put on them as well. But I mean, let's keep it real. This narrative is killing us physically, emotionally, spiritually. It says you can't cry, you can't break down, you can't ask for help, you can't say I'm not okay, you can't say I don't know. And if you do, you risk being seen as weak or soft or less than, or that you don't know what you're doing. Softness isn't weakness, and vulnerability isn't failure. It's human, and nobody knows how to do everything. And sometimes you're feeling emotions that you don't necessarily understand right there in that moment, and that's fine too. But honestly, I'm tired of pretending I don't feel when I do feel deeply. I've just been taught to hide it, to tuck it away. Oh, it doesn't faze me. I'm so unbothered. It's okay to be bothered. It is definitely okay to be bothered. But we're taught to hide it or push it down to make it digestible for people who never had to hold pain or frustration or irritation or annoyance like that. What I want more than anything now is to be in environments that let me be whole, not just smart, not just put together or understood, but my whole self, whether that's messy at the time or soft at the time or whatever it is, but where I'm comfortable enough to be my whole authentic self in that space. I want to be able to cry without feeling like I need to apologize or that somebody's going to judge me. I want to be able to say, I don't have it in me today. I can't do this today. And that's it, without guilt. I want to be able to show up in my softness and not have people look at me like I'm broken or there's something wrong with me. And I want friends that don't just gas me up, but will sit with me when I fall apart. I want romantic relationships that make room for silence and for softness and for healing, not just that performative shit. I want spaces that don't demand that I shrink or have to shape shift just to fit in or to be considered digestible. I am in my soft guy era, and I'm not ashamed of that anymore, because you know what? I am learning that a lot of people don't like to show their softness, and showing it definitely does take courage. So with that, I would like to encourage anybody listening to this to let your guard down in a world that constantly has us having our armor up. Let your softness be your armor. To show your heart when it's been broken before, to be honest when honesty might cost you something, Somebody might not like what you said. That's okay. I feel like that vulnerability takes a lot more courage and strength than pretending to be tough or unbothered. I am not trying to be in survival mode anymore. I want to be able to live, and I want to be able to love loudly, unapologetically. I want to take deep breaths and know that I'm safe in my body. And when that means choosing softness, that I'm okay with that. And I choose it on purpose. So you're probably like, okay, you're talking about all these things, but to tie it all together, imposter syndrome, burnout, the fake strength, it's all connected. Imposter syndrome makes you shrink. Burnout makes you disappear. And the strong Black man myth makes you suffer in silence. And it doesn't, again, that doesn't have to be just Black men. It could be any man. It could be anybody, really, because I feel like society has definitely pushed this image on a lot of different people. But vulnerability is how you break that cycle, and being comfortable in that vulnerability. That's how I plan on reclaiming my humanity. That's how we connect to each other, is by being vulnerable and emotionally connected to each other, not from masks and fake strength, but from your truth. So I am choosing softness. I'm choosing spaces where I don't have to explain why I need a break. And I'm choosing friendships that feel like an exhale. And I'm choosing jobs, careers where I can be me fully. And I don't have to put on this mask to be palatable for somebody who chooses not to understand me. So I'm trying to find a way to navigate through my truth without fear. And even if there is fear, how to get through it regardless. I want to redefine what strong means. Maybe strong is crying and showing up anyway, or being scared and showing up anyway. Maybe strong is asking for help before you hit rock bottom. Or maybe strong is letting go of the need to be strong all the damn time. We all need a break sometime, but at the end of the day, I feel like we need to do what makes us happy, and we should be able to be ourselves and not have to pretend that we're okay in order to make other people comfortable, whether that's at work, whether that's at home, in a relationship, and pushing things down just for them to bubble up and explode later. So if you're doing that, maybe you should stop, because I plan to. So that's all I got for you guys today. And somebody needed to say it. So I know I'm not the only one feeling like this. So if you are, I hope that this motivated you to be a little bit more vulnerable in the future. Let yourself be whole and fully seen. If you're tired, rest. Get some rest. If you're hurting, tell somebody. Reach out to a friend. If you're pretending, give yourself permission to be real again. We should all be able to be real all the time. And your softness is not a liability. It's your, let's call it liberation. Until next time, stay Black, stay queer, and if you are neither, always stay unapologetic, and make sure you stay soft. See you next time. Bye.